In a world wrought with struggle and strife, a world rich with beauty and grandeur, a world where peril lies around every corner, a world of casting and honing. One group steps up to share the perspective of the masses in this, the World of Warcraft. We are Pwnecast, the voice of the players.
You have crossed into the world of the dead in search of answers.
Welcome back. You are listening and/or watching Pwnecast. This is episode 52, and we are in patch 6.1.2. I'm your Warlock host, Belle. Tonight is a very, very special episode, as it is our 1-year episode. Today, golf clap, golf clap, golf clap. Today marks 1 year that Pwnecast has been bringing you all the delightfulness and just a little bit of fuckery every single week. Now, for those of you who don't know, 52 episodes is a pretty huge deal, as most podcasts don't make it past 10 or 15 episodes. So we're kind of a big deal. I mean,
we just don't know. We just don't know when to go home when we're told to.
Luke knows a little bit about that, but we won't.
I think mine made it to like 9 episodes.
So in celebration of that, we do have a lot of news this week, but in celebration, I wanted to make sure that I paid a little tribute because with this whole year with Pwnecast, with our Facebook page, the Pwnecast Daily Quest has brought a lot of changes for us. It's brought a lot of changes to our community members. The people that you see before you outside of Frieza, we are not the founding members of Pwnecast. That was actually Elida, Frieza, Mass Medic, and Spamburger. And these guys got together because they wanted to talk about a world that they loved. They wanted to bring that to people, and they wanted to have a voice in the community, and they just wanted to have a good time. I got brought on 8 or 9 episodes in. This was back when it was audio only. And I came on as a guest for Girls Who Play WoW, and I kind of never left. I had to be a part of what Elida had, and I saw his vision, and I wanted to just be a part of what was going on here at Pwnecast. Along the way, we did lose Elida, Mass Medic, and Spamburger to life aggro. They had to fight the real world, the real life boss, so to speak. And focus on their personal goals, their home life, and things like that. And that's just the nature of things. Sometimes things move you in a direction different. And luckily, Frieza still hung around with us assholes. We don't know why, because I would have ditched him a long time ago.
I don't have adult situations, so...
He's unattached.
I do what I want.
That's right. So it is kind of a bittersweet moment today as we celebrate the 1-year anniversary, but I wanted to make sure that we paid tribute to the founders, because even though they're not here with us, the soul of what they wanted Pwnecast to be is still here, and we think about that every day when we're doing stuff for Pwnecast, and we've managed to continue to bring Elida's vision as well as Mass Medic and Spamburgers, and we're excited that we get to be the ones that carry on the traditions that they started, and we're excited for the bright future. And along the way, we've had a lot of good supporters that have stepped in. Songhammer's always supported us. Ro from Realm Maintenance has always supported us. The red shirt guy loves us. He actually wants to be back on the show. He did message me day before yesterday and say he wanted to come back. We've had a lot of good supporters.
We love you, red shirt guy.
We do love you. But we've had a lot of good supporters, and we also wanted to make sure that in addition to paying tribute to the founders of Pwnecast, we also wanted to make sure we pay tribute to you guys, because you guys have helped to make this community pretty strong, and have allowed us to have a voice, and you've allowed us to entertain you. Why? We don't know, but you're allowing it, so we're just going to let it be.
Sounds like a personal problem.
I mean, you might want to get your head examined if you're still following Pwnecast, but we're excited for what the future brings, and we're going to make sure that we take Elida, Mass Medic, and Spamburger with us in our hearts as we continue to move forward through the World of Warcraft inter-community of whatever goes on behind the secret scenes at Blizzard. So thank you for letting us continue on with our shenanigans, and we'll make sure that we continue to bring those shenanigans. So with that said, I did also bring the Riders of Rohan with me, unfortunately, because these guys, jeez.
Something wrong with us.
There is something mentally not right. I did bring the mage who caught the bride's bouquet at the wedding last week and now has to marry Hots for Shots, Frieza.
Oh, what? I didn't see that. I see that in the notes. That's in the notes?
It is in the notes.
Oh, no. He couldn't handle this. I have too much junk in my trunk.
But he would definitely, of the two, you would be the more manly one because, you know.
He has cats. He kind of threw himself under that one.
Haas is really sensitive. He's a sensitive guy.
It'd be great shoulder to cry on and talk to.
He's like your bestie.
And there's a joke there about him being in cat form, but I just won't even do it. So use your imagination.
So you made it back from your plane trip. You didn't die.
I didn't die. I was in Texas for 3 days, and the flight there was awesome. The flight was very perfect landing and everything. And then the trip went good. I got to see all their downtown is much different than the Denver downtown. Our downtown is more about restaurants. Their downtown is more about, I'm losing words here. They have everything down there for, like, fun. So I went to everything, and a lot of money was spent, and a lot of fun was happening. So I got a lot of fun time. Then I came back here on a plane, and I thought I was going to die.
How dare you have fun in the real world?
And you got to spend the weekend with Elida, which we're jealous.
Yes, me and Elida went and partied hard for 3 days straight.
I don't believe that, really, because I don't see either one of you partying hard. Well, at least not my version of partying hard, because my version ends up with me in a desert butt naked with no cell phone. So
that's hardcore.
That's my version.
That's hardcore. But no, it was good. It was good. I made it back, and I thought I was going to die on a plane. And I didn't, so... We
missed you on last week's. I made sure I randomly said, now Friza would say, that's a party. Literally, I said it like every 20 minutes.
You know how to party, man.
Well, we're glad you're here. We did also bring the Death Knight who sold one of his kids to buy a BlizzCon ticket, like in...
Yes. You know what, I can't wait. I did actually have to thank the rest of the podcast world, because if it wasn't for Belle, if it wasn't for Ella, if it wasn't for Hots, those guys really were able to get my ticket today, because I actually took my daughter out for her 10th birthday to go fishing. So I came back. I had a nice hat surprise in my email.
Don't forget Cloak.
Oh, I'm sorry. And that Australian guy with his spaghetti.
And Weenie was on the train too. She was trying to help.
We're going to come back to this with good reason too.
But it was nice, yeah. And I got to give a shout out to my daughter. She turned 10 on Wednesday, so
yay for the mini leveling up.
She watches this, so she'll get a kick out of it.
She's still a scrub.
She is still. I mean, at level 10, she's definitely a scrub.
Right.
She's so adorable. I can't even stand how cute she is. We did also bring the shaman who plans on loading up on flavored Mountain Dew at BlizzCon. Bloke.
Oh, that's right.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited about BlizzCon in general, and that's like I really, really need to actually get some sleep because that didn't happen after work last night. But then, just as I was about to nod off and have sweet, sweet dreams about BlizzCon, someone reminded me that I'll be able to load up on all the different flavors of Mountain Dew, and I lost my shit. We only get, just so the kids playing at home, we only get one flavor here. And then on a special, ultra special occasion, they brought out the red and the blue with the Warcraft thing, and that was like years and years ago. And since then, we haven't seen any other flavors. And I've only just been educated that you have like 11 different flavors of Mountain Dew, and I'm going to get all up in that diabetes.
I'm so excited we get to see him in America, because when we were planning, Lycan and Hots for Shots are actually going to fly to where I live, and we're going to drive down so that we have a vehicle so we could just take my car. And we were trying to get Bloke to do the same thing, and Bloke's like, if I drive with you, can we go and do and see and eat all of the things? And I'm like, yes, we can eat all of the things. Like, whatever your little heart's desire, we will eat everywhere.
I already know for well, like I'm literally coming across for like 4 days, and I'm going to go home weighing 4 tons heavier than like, I'm going to need just the plane by myself and extra baggage. Just for this.
For those of you listening or watching, we did all manage, with the exception of Friza, which we might be able to still get him on board and acquire him a ticket. We're not 100% sure, but the rest of the Pwnecast crew, including one of our admins, Ella, we did acquire tickets today. I was lucky and got mine the first day because I was relentless. I was like I had 3 browsers open. I was refreshing. I was jumping into different. I was doing big things. But we did manage to do that. So we are going to be going to BlizzCon. So those of you that are going to BlizzCon as well, we will be arranging a meetup for those of you that are interested in hanging out with us. Alcohol is not mandatory, but is definitely going to be shoved.
I just want to
pretty
point out
heavily.
I'm not like rubbing nipples. I'm just BlizzConning.
Well,
I liked it the other way.
I mean, that's a party. So on that, before we get to the news, I know Lycan has some pretty choice things to say, which we all pretty much agree with, and I'm sure those of you at home that tried to order BlizzCon tickets the first day, there was a lot of bullshit that was going on that it was pretty terrible.
Waiting
So,
3 days to hear how this is going to go.
Lycan, let's go ahead and hear what you have to say.
All right, so after that, as we like to call it, fuckery that occurred on Wednesday, I sat there, and I was all excited, trying to get the tickets, got put in that queue. I had 8 windows open at one time, refreshing them all every time to try to get a ticket. What really upsets me is that you can order up to, 4 tickets?
4 tickets.
Okay,
Yes,
so you
sir.
go and order your 4 tickets. 3 of those tickets can go ahead and be named at a later date. You can put any name on them you want, not all the way up until August. What upsets me is that as I'm looking and I'm struggling to try to even get into the queue system to get a damn ticket, I happen to go over to eBay, just said, I just want to look. And wouldn't you know, there are already eBay tickets on sale at 7 p.m. my time, or 10 p.m. my time, which was 7 p.m. Pacific. BlizzCon tickets on sale already for $400, no goodie bags. So these people are putting them up there, making double their money on it, and they're taking all the goodie bags from it. Now, I understand people are going to try to make a buck, and that's all great. But I think what you need to do is that if you want to go ahead and buy tickets, you better have names for every one of them. If you don't need that ticket, then it gets put back into a lottery system. And let's say Friza wants to go ahead and order a ticket, but it didn't get it on those 2 days. He now has a chance in that lottery system with all the other names that they randomly pick, okay, Friza, do you want tickets? Yes, I want 3. Your name's got to be put on. They do not. And after a certain day, you can't sell them back.
I don't
But, I
think
mean-
you should be able to
Yeah.
resell Blizzard tickets whatsoever. I think if you're going to resell them, Blizzard should institute a policy where you could resell them back to Blizzard, or,
Yep.
like you said, kind of a lottery, or even a resell system that Blizzard puts in place that they can monitor, and it would need to be literally one of those things where it's because I cannot go whatsoever, so I need to get rid of this ticket. I do think that that's ridiculous, and
The
the
problem with
Eventbrite
it
thing-
is
the
it
Eventbrite
gets
thing did not
supported
go
though.
well either.
Oh, no.
No.
The problem with reselling the tickets is because there's so many people that want to go, and because of situations like Eventbrite basically dicking everybody out of buying a ticket, they have no option but to go and buy scalp tickets. If people are going to buy the tickets, there's always going to be scalpers. There's always going to be they will find ways to sell the tickets. If we stop buying them from dodgy shitheads,
They won't do it.
then they won't do it. Stop supporting the people that are making it harder for everybody else that's trying to do it legit.
Eventbrite, for the first night that they went on sale, you would go into a queue and you would think, okay, at least I'm in a queue. This is good news. That means it's going to pop with something. If you were in the queue on Wednesday night, you got kicked out of that queue and you were hosed. The only reason I got it before everybody else did is because while I was sitting in that queue, I also had other windows open and was doing other stuff. We didn't figure that part out until after I got my ticket. Then the guys were like, maybe we should do this as well. So
Which, even on that system there, I had 1 ticket that was sitting in the waiting room. I'm in the waiting room means I should be in line for a ticket. Yet as I'm going back to other windows are coming up with tickets available.
Yep.
And I never got a ticket. I sat in that one waiting room for 20 minutes, waiting, and opening up other windows. And every other window I open up said, oh, yeah, we got more tickets. Go ahead and click here. Never got a ticket.
I think the solution should really be Blizzard needs to get a bigger venue. They need to expand, and they need to make more tickets available because this thing's just going to get out of control. And before you know it, you got the Million Man March going up to BlizzCon steps because this thing's just going to keep growing out of control.
You just don't want Comic-Con either, though.
No, that's pretty true. That's pretty true.
That's horrible.
I got to admit that I was impressed with the response on the forums between there was like the people that go, oh no, it was really, really easy to get my tickets, and then the other people that were just like, you know what, fuck it, I don't even need a Battle.net account. I'm just going to potty mouth the hell out of it and get banned. they were cranky, man. Like they literally wanted to see the world burn because they couldn't get
And I
BlizzCon.
think Blizzard might have learned a
understand
lesson.
that.
I think Blizzard might have learned a lesson here regarding Eventbrite. And I personally think Blizzard should just handle that shit themselves. I think it should be their own system, their own situation. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. I guess it's easier to outsource events and coordinate things like that. But I mean, really,
From what I saw on the forums real quick this morning, that's the general war cry from everyone. It was like,
Yeah.
yeah, it wasn't 100% perfect when you did it through BattleNet, but it was a hell of a lot more effective than Everett.
So with that, we did acquire the BlizzCon tickets. To those of you who did not acquire them, you can always go to eBay and do your thing there. Just wait till, it gets a little bit closer and they might be a little bit cheaper as the market tends to flood with those type of tickets. You can do it that way. Please be very cautious and understand that when you're doing that with eBay, they could do a lot of things. They could go in and change the ticket name on you because it's attached to their email. It's not exactly 150% safe. Elvine... You go to Elvine, I think it's elvinelol.com. He actually has a ticket management thing where you can put you're looking for tickets and put tickets up there where he's kind of monitoring that. I don't really know much about that. I don't really know why he's even involved in that and why it's his business, but whatever, I'm just here. So that's great for him that somebody's actually doing that, so you guys can check that out. If you didn't get tickets this time, have no worries, we've got you covered. You guys can get your virtual ticket, and we are going to be doing extensive coverage. We are going to be...
Coverage, drinking.
I'm going to have a camera. I'm going to have a camcorder with us, and we're from the drive there and all that might occur on the road. I mean, we're really going to do an extensive documentary with the road to BlizzCon as far as Spuncast is concerned. But we are going to move on because we do have a very, very lengthy show. Odds are we are going to go a little bit over time because there's a lot of information to cover regarding PTR. Keep in mind that as we're going through this, I'm not going to discuss any class changes in PTR. The reason being is because that stuff always changes. It literally changes from week to week, so I'm not even going to cover. We're not even going to talk about. We're not going to be talking about any of the class changes because that's already changed even from last week's PTR notes. Stuff's already been reversed and changed and stuff. So some of the big things that we've all been waiting for, which is Tanan Jungle. That's the invasion of Tanan Jungle, which is what it's called. Basically. You get access to this by the shipyard, which is the new level 3 garrison addition. We'll talk about that. And there's going to be daily quests available in Tanan and open world questing with rare creatures and things like that. What I loved about these screenshots is it's all fell every stuffs. And as a warlock, I'm so excited about. There's a lot of parts of Tanan Jungle that are fell. Obviously, because of Manaroth, I mean I guess that's only natural. But yes, it is fell themed, and we'll give you more updates as that stuff happens. But what do you guys think of this whole?
I haven't seen any screenshots yet because I'm trying a different method here. Of I'm going to wait for the event or the whatever's to get on the thing and go over there. And actually, explore it and experience it from that first person sort of thing. Because obviously coming into Warlords, I'm looking at anything that came out. Yeah. And by the time I got there, I'm like, this is that thing and that thing. And by the time you got to your garrison, I'm like, it's nice. So I'm hoping that I can keep it a little bit new. I'm excited. I think there's some cool shit coming.
Well, and with that, and I'm excited to see that they're doing garrison additions. There's going to be a shipyard that's going to be available with a level 3 garrison, which you're going to be able to construct. Basically, you report to your garrison, you get to build it. It builds a ship in your shipyard, and it's like your little marina, like your own little. You mean I could take a boat and go kill people? Hell yes, let's do this. But really, what's going to happen is you're going to get new naval missions, tons of new stuff that's going to be opened up with that. It's still being developed, so there's not a whole lot of stuff regarding what happens with the shipyard and the things that you get from it because they're still developing it as PTR develops. With that, the new raid has been announced, which is Hellfire Citadel. It's basically the assault on Hellfire Citadel, mighty fortress of the Iron Horde, mighty. Torn asunder by fell energies unleashed by Gul'dan, and stop the impending. Impending is the key.
There was a smirk on your face when you read that.
Because I can't even deal. Energy. Anything that's fell related, I'm in love with, obviously, because I'm a warlock and I have the green fire, and I absolutely am so excited about this. But the item level for the tier sets are going to be, for normal, it's going to be 695. Heroic is going to be 710, and Mythic is going to be the Mythic is going to be 725. And Frieza, something that you had brought up quite a while ago is people with Mythic gear going into PvP.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what?
What?
They're scaling anything that's not PvP gear. They're scaling it down to 715.
I told you.
So you should be
Told
happy
you.
that they did hear the plea and the cries of
Yeah.
it's not fair that you're a raider and you're mythic and you can come in and kick my ass because you got a
The
high
voice
item
made
level.
the difference.
No, I said they would change it before the next season.
They
They made a
did,
mistake.
And with that, I'm pretty sure that with the new patch, with 6.2 is going to bring Warlord Season 2. I'm pretty sure that's what's gonna happen. And while we're on that topic, with that, where did I put that? Oh, Warlord Season 2, the gear is going to be 705, which will scale to 735 in PvP, and then we already talked about all non-PvP gear will scale down to 715. So 735 is going to be your next item level for PvP. They are making a ton of changes they're doing some more stuff at Ashran. They're giving some more daily quests that give conquest. They're adding tons of stuff. I did watch the Q&A, which, Friza, I don't know if you were in town or you might have even been working, the Q&A with Holinka. And what I did love...
I probably couldn't even watch
No,
halfway
you would have
through
loved
that
it because you know what Holinka said? Holinka said Ashran was
Understand
great
that
on
guy.
paper and it was great in concept, but it was a mistake. We made a lot of mistakes with Ashran, and it's not what we intended it to be. Obviously,
Again, only because Frazo kept cracking about it.
yeah.
He's
So
finally...
he did openly admit, and Holinka did openly admit that it is not what they intended. It is not awesome. It is not amazing, and they are focusing on changing that.
As long as it's kind of too late now, but don't do it in the next expansion. Don't do it. Don't make another one like that. You should learn from that.
But they're going to.
He talked about the reason that they wanted to do it is they wanted to be able to connect other realms together to be able to fight each other. They were trying to bring people on a large scale together, and I think that's where he realized that was their failure. They were trying to do too much when they should have just been focused on the one package.
just like I said a long time ago, the players will choose one route on how things are going to be played, and once they choose that route, then that's how it's always going to be done. And the players did. Ashran came out and they said, "Oh, this is how we're going to run Ashran, and this is how it's going to run." And they didn't like it. They didn't run it the way that the creators thought the players would run it.
Right.
And
when I saw Ashran, though, when it came in, when it was in PTR and it was in beta, I loved the idea.
I thought it was bad from the start.
No, I said, "Wow, this is going to be great. There's a lot of good things about it, a lot of great things." And then they said, "Well, we need to start micromanaging it," and that's when it all went downhill. One, it has no lore reason to even be in there.
No, it doesn't. It's a non sequitur completely.
Yeah, we're walking out of Siege of Orgrimmar where you have Varian Wrynn going up to Vol'jin and basically making friends, saying, "Look, back off and we'll back off you," and then boom, we coming into the new content, and we got to fight over
Just
the
to
thing.
everyone.
Right? It makes absolutely no sense.
Well, I was talking to a good friend of mine, and we said, well, this is the first season, and I've been doing Arena for a very long time, and this has really been the first season. I know Lycan, Val, and the people who do PvP, you have realized that you will go against the same people often in Arena. Mm-hmm. You guys have seen this. You guys, it's the same team. Oh, it's the same team. The reason why it's the same team is because you are able to cap out in Ashran.
Yeah.
And never ever has there been an option for that. It's always you have to cap out in Arena, and you have to get your 400 in RBGs. So they made people do RBGs. They made people do Arena. Now you don't have to go.
Right.
You don't have to.
You don't even have to go into Ashran if you have a level 3 Sanctum.
There you go.
That Gladiator Sanctum, I've gotten that close to actually capping out.
Yeah.
But you do have to go there to get the broken bones. So I mean,
but that's the thing though is you should have never made it available for players to leave Arena to get conquest points. That was never an option back in the days.
Agreed.
It never was. It never was. You had maybe some dailies you could, but in the end, it was never like it is today, and it has hurt the Arena, especially for low CR. Probably all of Arena.
Agreed.
Probably doesn't affect
As someone who really doesn't Ashran, like I've dabbled and that's fine, but my whole standing point on this is at least someone over at Blizz has gone, "Hey, my bad."
He did. He
Yeah.
said
We
his exact
cooked it.
words were, "It's often kept me up at night because it was not my proudest
Yeah,
moment."
but
That's
that-
his
but
exact words.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not them turning around and going, "Look, we realize it's broken and we're going to come fix it." But that's at least a baby step in the direction of
Just,
like,
we're
well,
not gonna
we know
do it
that
again.
we know that doesn't work. So
Well, that's the crazy
let's
thing
not.
That's the crazy thing is Toll Barrett worked. It worked. There was nothing wrong with it. Why not do that again? Instead, they're like, oh, this worked perfectly, right? All the players love this. Yeah, and if you won, you got a raid afterwards. So you gave you a lot of reward for winning. Awesome. Let's not do that.
Right. Let's not do that. Let's not ever do anything that's successful, ever.
And let's not do that, and I found that very interesting. They want to take it to the next level. Maybe it was, like I said, a lot of stuff is done with good intentions. Garrisons were done with good intentions, and look what it's become now. Just something you have to do. It's become something that it's not as fun as it used to be, at least for me. And so...
As somebody that sits on both sides of the aisle for PvE content and PvP, for those who don't do PvP content, this would be like telling your LFR people, okay, we're going to give you LFR, we're going to take all the mechanics out, we're going to take all the skill out of it, but still give you the same gear.
Right.
How can you take all the skill out of LFR? There is no skill in LFR.
But that's what he's saying.
Take your raid, say you take your High Mall or your Blackrock Foundry, we're going to take all the skill out of it. You don't have
this
to
this is me not being a PvP. Like
going to
I'm
be
an
a bunch
LFR.
of idiots running around, not organized, not doing anything, but you're still going to be able to get all the hardcore gear from it. Agreed.
That's identical. That's identical.
Agreed.
Exactly what's going on.
And that would be the response that it gets. Is everyone going, how can you do that? How can you do that? Oh, we'll still keep doing it anyway.
Right.
Well, he did say in the Q&A he did say that they're actively working solutions to change it, and I'm not sure what that brings, but he did acknowledge it, which I did appreciate that he did acknowledge. He did also in the developer Q&A he did talk about some of the weaker classes and specs and bringing them up to par. Don't really know if that's ever going to be a thing, but that's what he stated. But moving on from that, everybody's been aflutter over this mythic dungeon situation. So Draenor dungeons are going to have mythic ability. And with that, it's basically the reason for that is just to award people for doing harder shit. I mean, you do harder stuff, you get a higher reward. So with that, they're on a weekly lockout, which obviously it's mythic and it's good gear, so they're going to give you a weekly lockout. The gear drop is item level 680 with a chance for a boss at the end to drop an item level 700. Still developing more information on this, but that's something Frieza would do because it's a 5-man dungeon. He might try to tackle on a mythic like, I'm mythic, bitches, I'm mythic.
It actually really sounded fun. When I first read that on the notes, I was like, this is something I could do.
Yeah.
This is something that sounds actually fun to me because I like frustrating myself, but I like doing it for a cause.
Yeah. And 5-man is definitely, no matter what the hard difficulty is, it's always better than trying to do a 20-man.
Yeah.
And
you just have to get 5 people.
Right.
You just have to get 5 people.
5 people and go in and do the damn thing on.
And you guys can just walk out any moment. You guys can be like, you know what, this is a bad day to play. Let's just get out of here.
Yep.
Come back, try tomorrow.
I think you might even actually enjoy that.
I think so.
With that, there's an adventure guide that's going to be added to your dungeon journal. What I found interesting about this adventure guide is, in addition to more information on bosses and things like that, what this actually does is it gives you suggested content on dungeons, raids, and even quests that you should be doing at your level, which I thought was pretty legit. When you're max level, what the hell do? You stand around in your garrison picking your ass? We don't really know what you do when you're max level.
You go to websites and read stuff and look at achievements that you haven't done and figure shit out yourself.
You know?
You don't have Blizzard standing there going, oh, hey, we're going to make it so you don't even have to go and do anything anymore. We're going to tell you what you need to go and do.
Well, no, they're going to make suggestions. You obviously still have to go to those places, but you can begin the quests and you can go to these places and you can begin to adventure out into more things.
And until I see how that's implemented, I'm going to stand and say.
But it's all based on your character. The whole purpose and that's for your character.
And this is crazy because it shows. I'm not saying I'm anti or pro. It sounds a little off to me. They're going to have to master it, but. I find it very interesting how far this game has gone. Back in the days, 8 years ago, or no, 7 years ago, if you run into the Barrens and you'd like, I got a quest, and you'd have to ask where that quest was in the general chat. And hopefully someone would message you back saying, oh, that's on the north right side of the map. If no one ever messaged you, you would have never known where it was. You just wouldn't do the quest because you would never know.
Well, and it's not going to take you there.
And that's the thing is they came with Quest Helper, and now they're showing you, now they came up with a little map, and now they're going to tell you where to go. It's crazy how crazy the game. The game has evolved.
And I agree. I do reminisce about the times when it was really, really difficult to figure something out, and you spent 30 minutes on one fucking quest, and you're like, seriously? Will somebody please just help me so I can be done with this?
And finally, somebody would message you back.
But what I found interesting about it is after level 100, if you're like me, I mean, Fries is a different kind of individual. He does every single quest on every single map while he's leveling. I map hop because I got shit to do, and it's not doing every single quest in a quest line. This will actually, after your 100, there might have been a quest for a pet or a follower that you didn't know about. This is going to pop into your little thing and say, hey, go get this done. You might even finish something you didn't even know you wanted to finish. So, I mean, I see kind of both. As long as they play it right and don't give you too much, I don't want them to hand anything to anybody. Maybe just point them in a direction. Like,
see, now, on the forums, the adventure guide is catering to the casuals. Game's thrown up. Just throw the game out the window. It's done.
I think...
Oh.
I can see that that's going to be the first thing. And I like the idea. Right, I like the idea because there's a lot of times I'm sitting and going, okay, I've got close to 20,000 achievement points. I've got just about every damn dungeon or raid mount that's out there.
You, sir, have no life.
I don't. I have over 600 unique pets, and I'm sitting there going, okay, what do I do next? I've done all the garrison stuff.
Yeah, that's where I see the upside of it.
This would work out. This is where it's going to work out for me, where I'm getting down to that very, and no offense, and not to call everybody casuals, but I'm getting down to that elite collector status, to where what can I go after next, or how do I do it?
I'm sorry, did you just say I'm a casual? Hold on.
he did quote it right. Elite collector status.
Hold on.
Hey,
Hi.
Do you grind?
Yep.
Do you grind for mounts?
No, I do not.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, be on your way.
Yeah. Bye-bye, casual.
Wait, this means you're in the same, like, you up there with, what's his name? Hotspur.
Yeah, I'm
getting close.
Good to hang out with normal people.
Happening in real life there. With that, this is Lycan's most exciting moment here. Time walking. For those of you who don't know what time walking is going to be available during select holiday events, holiday weekend events. It's going to allow you to queue up for randomly selected old school dungeons with a little bit of a plot twist here. What happens when you queue up for these is your character's power and your gear is going to scale down to the dungeon's level on heroic difficulty. So it's going to be like if you were there at whatever the level was for this difficulty, it's going to be like it's not eye roll, face rolling anymore to go through this, and your character gets all the same skills and everything that makes your character, but the power and the gear scaled down. What that also means, you do walk away with old loot that is scaled up to your character's level. How about that?
What is huge bloke is having an aneurysm over here?
Do you need to go first, or?
Yes, please. Here we go. This is required. I've been waiting for this. Fuck you. That's all I'm saying about that. Do you know how much time I spent grinding?
That's directed towards, because I need to know if I should be offended or I should be applauding.
That's to people that came up with this amazing idea that have gone, hey, we'll give you some fresh new content and it's going to be amazing and you're going to really, really love it. From 8 years ago. It's the same shit. I have spent that much time in some of these dungeons. I give you $1 million. I could do the blindfolded. The gear and whatever else.
I can't handle this right now.
For people that didn't, and for people that have just came to the game, because Warlords of Draenor brought a lot of new players. With that, we haven't experienced
the thing.
it.
I know full well, current company included, that there's people that never experienced these dungeons.
I didn't have friends back then, bloke. That's not my fault. I didn't have friends, and nobody invited me to do anything before Group and Q Finder was even a thing. And if you didn't have friends, you didn't do dungeons because you had to walk in.
I get at the point that it will give people a chance to experience these dungeons like they should have been.
Do you know why we're not getting new content all the time? Do you know why?
Because
they're spending time messing with that crap that we don't freaking need. We don't
Okay,
need
here, look,
that. We
time
need
out.
new content, new stuff, and we're allowing these lazy director producers to say, oh, let's give the guys what they had 7 years ago because that cost us zero money, and let's go get some interns to make some gear that's probably going to look terrible, and you're going to have to transmog over it, and you're going to go do that because we're going to tell you you're going to do that, and you're going to do it because you do whatever we tell you to do, and we'll do it a year from now, we'll do it again because we don't care about making new content. That costs money, it takes time, and then we have to balance it. No, you're justifying these lazy producers.
How many times do you walk into a raid? How many times in this expansion? How many times have you walked into a raid?
Look, why would you
Answer
spend?
my question.
I don't know. I don't.
You don't like it?
This is
And I'm
why
gonna tell you the same thing. I'm gonna tell you the same thing when something new is implemented that they don't like selfie camera. If you don't like it, don't
Well,
fucking do
but
it.
I do
No,
understand his
no.
point of view, though,
But it does-
because they don't make new stuff right now. That kind of thing is
They're not
something
balancing?
old that they're. I
Yeah,
do
they're not-
agree.
They're not
with
laying
that.
this in town and
But
jungle
they
for like
are-
6 months. That's ridiculous.
You don't know. No, it's not gonna be 6 months. It's only about. I bet you it's going to be a month and a half down the road. They're going to release 6.2.
No, I said
With
it's been.
I
been.
like the idea, but I do understand his frustration because meanwhile we're struggling with things like Ashran and we're struggling with things that are broken. And my brother said the same thing to me last week. He said the reason I kind of stopped playing is because I got tired of them pushing new crap like Twitter and all this stuff. And it's not that I have and this is his quote, it's not that I have anything against any of these things. It's you haven't even fixed what's broken yet.
Yep,
There's
that's
still
what I'm
maps
saying.
that are bugged. There's still quests. You haven't even fixed what's broken or continue to bring us new things. You're bringing us new things packaged as old. That I think that's
it's
really the
not-
point.
It is not that hard. They've already had the technology to implement this when they brought it back Molten Core. Now that it was
Agreed.
an
This should have been
absolute
something pre-expansion.
Right. This was a nightmare, and I don't like the idea of walking into a 40-man raid with a bunch of LFRs and looking for, you can guess what the R stands for, and you're walking in there and go, okay, we're going to go ahead and tackle this where you need 3 tanks, you need 10 healers. No, that was a nightmare. Bringing this stuff here is something I asked back in Mr. Pandera. I thought it would be great. One, I'm a Wrath baby. I never got to experience, the Architraves when it was out. Black Morass when it was out. Even when you're dungeoning as you're leveling and you're queuing into these dungeons, you're super overgeared with all your BOAs that it does not matter. I mean, it's a face roll when you go there. I would love to go back into these dungeons just to say, you know what, this is awesome. One, I'm a lore freak, so all these dungeons, like I love the whole Black Morass thing. I think that is one of the most wonderful dungeons they ever created. The idea to stand there and watch Medivh open up the Dark Portal. Wonderful. And to just be able to step back and have this geared to where we're at right now, I think is great.
I agree, but I wish that they would have done it while we were waiting for expansion.
I'm on the opposite side of that, man. You shouldn't be able to go back and kill Illidan or Lich King.
Well, and that's
or any
another
of that.
thing too. He does bring up a very good point. People that got to do this content, those are people that get to say, I did this when. Even like with your Lich King stuff, when you did that and you were actually raiding when it was current and it was tough. Fryza's right. It is a rite of passage for people to say, I did this when. You guys are barely discovering it new now, but I've been here since the beginning and I did it when. So I do see both sides, and what I wish is if they were going to do this, although I plan on checking it out, I wish they would have done it while we were waiting for Warlords instead of using Warlords content as a means to make this happen.
But this is the thing that they complained back in Mist and Pandaria. They kept pushing new content and new content and new content. And what happened? We got up to Siege of Wargrimmar in an entire fucking year of looking at Garrosh.
So they had a perfect opportunity.
They did,
to put stuff like
that's
this
a
in
good
there.
point. We could have got this back then,
But this is why they're doing that. This is why they're taking that step back, because we complain. I got tired of looking at his ass for a year of
producing, repackaging old shit and making it new is not. That's not a good filler. They just need to keep bringing us. It doesn't have to be large new things to keep it fresh. They can implement small things like the Mythic thing. Genius, because that makes it fresh for players while they're waiting for the next. They introduced a new raid. Beautiful. Not everything has to be this huge monumental change for it to be fresh and new to us. The little ideas that they're doing and they're changing are just enough. But I mean, I see both sides. I'm excited because I didn't get to experience that, but it does kind of take a rite of passage away from those who really fought and killed this shit back in the day,
I really do agree with Lycan. Like, it's amazing that people that are newer to the game are going to have that opportunity and get the reward for it, because
But
my
it's
understanding
crappy
is
for the
that gear
people that
scales
really
down
did
and
it,
then
though.
but exactly the words that you just said about staring at Gary's butt for a year.
Yeah, but they can come out with new content.
Yeah,
man.
I think it's
They don't need to
crappy.
be coming out with
That
this
does
crap.
kind of take away from the players that
They
really
can make so many new dungeons.
I
You
can
know,
see
Here's
splitting
why.
the community so heavily, because there'd be people that were, oh, I'm going to farm the old shit again, but the other half going, oh, this is amazing, it's new, and I've never experienced the
And
way
that's why.
it's meant to be played.
yeah,
When
but
you sit
that's
there-
the player who's going to unsubscribe in a month or so. It's the
No.
one who's been playing for 5 years. He's the one that's been
He's
paying
the
the
one
whole
that's given
time.
Blizzard the loyalty since the very
And now he has to go back and refarm that if he wants to get some gear. Screw that.
Let me explain what is going on here. Is that when you buy Warlords of Draenor, you're a brand new player. Let's say you never played World of Warcraft before, right? Boom, you buy Warlords. What's the one thing that you get? A level 90 boost for any character, right? So you got that level 90 character. You're now standing there in your garrison, and you're level 90, and you're walking through this content. We know, because we've all sat
Yeah,
there and
'cause you've
experienced at one point
experienced it.
of what we did to get to this point. All right? We know how we got to here. We know what happened for us to be in Draenor in a different timeline. These people that have never played the game before have never experienced that.
Then they
What
shouldn't have
they're
boosted
doing.
with their first tune. They should
But
have
they're-
went through the content like
I
normal
agree.
players.
But come on. You know you would do it too. Just to be up at par, just to see what's going on. But if you sit there
If
and you look
I
at
was a
this,
first-time player, I would not know, because I'm the type of player where I got to know what I'm
You are.
doing.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it
you
either.
are.
But
So how
most
many people
players,
are?
right? Aren't
No,
most
98%
gamers? And
of people.
when I say players, I mean gamers. If you were a gamer, you would want to know everything you're stepping into, right?
Right. I agree with you. But you have a lot of people who do not. So what
Yeah,
they're doing
that's
is,
true.
okay, let's go look at Utgard Pinnacle. That was an awesome dungeon. That one I got when it came up for the daily dungeon, where you had to actually form your group and you didn't have the little button to do it. Nobody
the time.
wanted to go for Utgard Pinnacle, right? Because they didn't want to face Imran, because he was such an asshole when you were going ahead. This will get them to go back to those content going, wow, this was a really cool dungeon. They go back to the old kingdom and see all the Encourage, and they're sitting there looking at these, not Encourage, but they're looking at these beetle things. They're going, wow, this is cool. It's going to force them back into these older zones.
But then they're going to bitch twice as hard, going, why can't you make content
Here's
as
the thing.
awesome as...
Exactly. There you
Here's
go.
the crappy part is, everybody levels an alt.
Mm-hmm.
They're already doing this. I just did Utgard probably 12 times a couple weeks ago. Literally, they're already doing this, and that I think I think that's probably the most realist point I've ever seen made on the show. Is I understand the reasoning, and I think it's awesome, but what
But you just told me that
what did you take away though from the players that did it? What did
you don't
you?
take anything away.
Yeah, they're taking a lot of it away. Yeah.
Because you know what? They're actually they're going to, when you did those Utgard Pinnacles 12 times, how easy was it?
Well, I died a few times. It wasn't that easy. I'm dealing with 4 other idiots. No
Okay.
offense, you know.
Depends on who you're playing with, yeah.
Let's say the
True.
4 of us and Hots decide to go in there, and we do this as a group. We're going to march right for it
Yeah,
at
you guys
level
not
with
gonna
all
die.
the BOA.
Well, we did, because Hods will be there. So.
Well, we have BOA, so yeah, that's a valid
Okay.
assessment.
So you're gonna march right through it. This is gonna take them back and say, look, this is Utgard Pinnacle. This is what it was like. And these people are gonna go through this dungeon and they're gonna wipe 16 times, and they're gonna go, now I see what these people who are level 80 max level form in groups.
But even that's a
and
problem.
it's gonna make it better.
People abandon shit from a raid if they die the first boss. If they get into 5 wipes in a dungeon, they're not going to stick around and do that.
No, they don't. They won't, and
Because
they're not going to get any of the old
because
players.
That's the standard that is there at the moment. Everyone just wants to steamroll it and blitz through the content, and then
We're gonna-
get 6 months down the track and go, boring.
We're
go
going to
back.
move on because we've spent 20 minutes on this topic.
I can't.
And we'll spend another 20 until I'm done ranting.
Some are
Right.
opposed, some are not opposed. I mean, at the end of the day, Blizzard is going to do whatever the hell they want to do. We're just here
Yeah.
giving
I'll
them
give a
money.
call back to Blizzard. I think it was a great idea.
Giving them money. So,
I'll
with
give them a half.
what I am excited about is obviously with the whole lore with Manaroth and Gul'dan, this is right up this girl's alley because I'm a warlock. So with all the fell theming that's happening with Tinian Jungle, there's also fell themed mounts. I'm so excited, so excited. You have the Fellsteed Annihilator.
Finally, another steed.
Yep, and then you have the Reigns of the Corrupted Deathwing,
Ooh.
and the Infernal Direwolf, the Fellblood Gronling, which is basically a giant pound fist. These are all Fell-themed in nature. The Fellsteed Annihilator is going to be from Mythic Archmond. The Reigns of the Corrupted Deathwing is going to be a reward from Glory of the Hellfire Raider achievement, which I'm assuming means you do them all in Heroic. The Infernal Direwolf is going to cost 150,000 Apexis crystals, which with that they did remove the cap for Apexis in PTR. It is no longer 60,000. It's been removed. And the Fellblood Gronling is going to be a reward for Kaleki the Boy Gladiator achievement. So, yay for this. With that comes they've got new models for some of the demons. I'm really hoping to see a Voidwalker. I really need to see a little revamp of the Void.
I figured it out. All the Warlock nerfs that have been happening and getting smashed with the band stick, this is their apology. They'll be like, oh, sorry, Warlock's here. Have a zone. Have some mounts. Now shut up and go sit back in your corner.
Well, I mean, I love having the green fire, and there's times when I do miss the regular fire, but I do love that they're bringing new stuff. That did, did you see all the pets? There's a list of, 20 new pets, and some of them do procs of Fell magic.
I like the pets. I like the mounts, but it's all reskins. Everything but that Annihilator are reskins. And I'm very disappointed.
So it's okay to do it. It's okay.
No, we're done. Paint mount screen and go, there you go.
Hold on. That did kind of tie into last conversation. You know what like it is? I just figured out who like it is. Like it is that guy who is like, it's totally okay as long as I like it. But if I don't like it, he's totally that guy.
Thanks, folks.
For those of you that are listening and not watching, Lycan did walk away from his camera. But I mean, this is one of those things where it's different strokes for different folks. We're okay with reskinning old dungeon content, but we're not okay with reskinning old
dungeon content and bringing it back to make it harder. This is just taking a green paintbrush and bring it up in paint and going, let's spray paint this
that
one
took
green.
Interns a lot of hard work, sir.
Yeah.
You will give
they
them
work
credit.
For free.
Right.
But maybe the pets will be harder because they'll have new Fell magic.
Oh, Fell magic is so amazingly beautiful. It's like...
We haven't got 20 minutes to discuss.
It's like a mixture of Fergie and Jesus,
Can we move on?
right?
Fergie and Jesus.
Okay. If
Never heard that one put together.
Come on, you guys have seen that movie.
Elvis. Woo!
So with that, some of the demon models have already been updated for the Warlock, which is pretty exciting. And it's not really just for the Warlock because some of those demons are NPCs as well. But so far, it's your Felguard and your Doomguard that I've seen in the Imp. I haven't seen the Voidwalker nor the Succubus or the Shivera. I'd really, really love to see the Voidwalker. I know I did kind of there was a weird snap thing. So lots and lots and lots of changes with PTR. Mm-hmm. With that being said, as far as class changes, please do not freak out until 6.2 launches. They will nerf, they will buff. They will nerf, they will buff. They will nerf, they will buff. This is what Blizzard is famous for. They break everything, and then they fix it. So don't panic. I'm tired of seeing people threatening to unsub. Guess who doesn't care that you're unsubbing? Blizzard. They don't care because where there's one that unsubs, there's 20 right behind subbing. Seriously, it's not going to get you guys anywhere. If you don't like something, go to the PTR forums and lodge a logical reasoning for why this is not good.
Try the content, see what it's like, and then go to the forum.
You don't like it, go to PTR and see what it's going to affect. See if you even notice it. Go to the proper channels. Commenting on Facebook and complaining on Facebook isn't helping you because nobody on Facebook can do anything for you.
Good, but if you're going to go on the forums, please write more than, hey, Blizzard, this is poo. I'm quitting. You suck.
And they're not going to quit anyway.
They never do. Just go to them with education regarding whatever the issue is. Tell them the reasoning this is a problem. If you go to them with sound, solid advice and other people are in line with that, they're not going to ignore you. They might not do it, but they will acknowledge that that's been proven time and time again with things. So take it to the proper channels and don't freak out. I know Demonology Warlocks are having a freaking moment right now because everything was nerfed 25%. Relax, breathe. It's going to be okay. At the end of the
corruption
day,
was buffed by a little bit.
at the end of the day, this is what it is. So don't freak out about PTR until it actually happens and it's no longer PTR and it's 6.2. But if you have an issue with it, go to PTR, do it the proper way instead of getting on your soapbox and trying to be a keyboard commando badass because you want to talk shit about unsubbing. Nobody cares. Least of all, Facebook groups don't care if you're unsubbing. Nobody even knows who you are. Just like when I say I'm unsubbing, who the hell are you? Right. I'm a nobody.
It was when Soda Pop and said he's on subbing.
Then all of a
like,
sudden he started a
snap.
trendy wave, and that guy's an idiot anyway. So, but seriously, just take it with a grain of salt and just roll with the punches. I was gonna unsub. I was never gonna play my Warlock again in the beginning of WOD, and come to find out, I'm still playing the Warlock. So, just don't freak out. Calm down. Get off your high horse and just stop panicking. It's still a month or two out. With that,
my log up, then you'll be fine.
We're not 100% sure about the PvP season, as Lore and a few people on the Q&A did try to ask Holinka when the season's going to be in full effect. I'm assuming it's 6.2 since they've already announced the gear item levels. So if you guys have last-minute achievements, you're trying to push rating, whatever it is you're trying to do. Also, this is very important. When we went into Warlords, all of our previous season gear was shit. It was like being naked because of the huge item level difference. Now, going into Warlord Season 2 for PvP, you're still going to be able to use your other gear to get you through till you can get the next higher item level stuff. Obviously, if you're mythic rating or if you're rating and you have the gear, keep in mind it's going to scale to 715, but it still might be better than your 690. But if you're just a PvPer, you can still use your 690. It's not going to be amazing, but it's better than nothing. So you can use that moving forward to get your new gears for the new season. So once we hear on when that's announced, of course, we will let everybody know. Typically, they usually give you a couple week warning so that you can get last minute achievements and stuff and junks and things and stuff. So that was a lot of information that we gave. And with that, I want to, let me just do a little bit of timekeeping here. Let's go ahead and do some Week in WoW stuff since we had some very heated discussions. And I want to remind everybody at home that even though we disagree, we are friends. And anything you see on the podcast, we're never well.
I ain't no friends no more.
This is part of what makes everything unique is we all don't have the same opinion, which I love because there will be times when I think I'm right, and one of these guys will say something, and in thinking about it, I'm like, fuck, he was right. Like, seriously? Does he have to be right?
It usually is about me, because, see, I'm never wrong. I've been mistaken. I've been mistaken, I've been misunderstood, but I've never been wrong. Ever.
That's not what his wife says, but
no.
We'll go with that. But, yeah, let's go ahead and get started in our Week in WoW. Friza, I know that you are still adjusting to your schedule, and you were doing stuff last weekend. What did you do this week?
I have been taking a break from WoW, not quitting, just taking a break. Waiting for the new season to start, letting my thoughts get together. But I did want to have an opinion. So over the time not playing WoW, definitely watched a new show called Speed Kills. It's about animals, the animal kingdom, and I'm going to go somewhere with this. And it basically shows, what the animal, the hyena, the lion, the zebra, the crocodile, all the preys, and it has all of these things on there, and it tells them exactly who they are and what they do and what their abilities, what are the positives and negatives, and who eats who and who does what.
I mean, that sounds like a party.
Right? Tell you that.
I don't understand the WoW connection here.
So,
go ahead.
So I'm watching all this, and I'm watching 3 episodes or forever, 2 hours long. After watching all the science behind it, I kept thinking, Blizzard needs to watch these videos to figure out how to balance classes. Because this was like identical to what's happening. So basically what I get out of it was there's a lion. The lion is usually a hunter in World of Warcraft. And the hunter's just going to go in there and just destroy everybody. The lion goes in there and he just gets the hyena and he's just, and he rips it apart and they die, right? But if there's 2 hyenas, they have a chance of scaring off the lion and killing it. But the problem is Blizzard allows the lion to heal himself. There's the problem. So they need to realize that this is not what they need the game to be like. There needs not to be a food chain, because those videos show nothing but a food chain. And this person eats this person, and this person eats this person, and this person eats this
Wait,
person.
do I sign up on that list? Because that sounds
So-
like my
so-
kind of
so-
situation.
Yeah, so it wouldn't work that way. So they need to watch this, like, oh, this is what we're doing. We're doing something. We're doing something like similar to this. Like, we decide who's the bear. We decide who's the crocodile and the gazelle going into the water. We decide that, and they're like, that's what they've been doing this whole time. And I'm watching these videos and like, I don't want to play this game no more. This game is horrible. And so they need to not do that, but they need to allow it. I'm missing my words up here. It's kind of right the way the food chain works, but you gotta not give more abilities to the prey. There's the problem. The mages don't need to have any heals. We just need to have most damage. Warriors need to have all the damage, but no heals. But a DK needs to have almost medium damage, but he can shield himself and heal himself. Instead, he has most damage and can shield himself and can heal himself. And there's the problem: is they're not balancing any of these classes out. They're just making all of them lions, and then they just all just. It's a horrible scene.
For a second there, I didn't understand, but I totally understand what you're saying. You are right. There should be some classes that are built for this and can't do this. You shouldn't be able to do damage and heal yourself. You have to pick one.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
And on this video, it shows about it talks about the cheetah, and it talks about the leopard. The cheetah could only run for 17 seconds, and he's the fastest in the world, but he could only run for 17 seconds. And that's like a mage. And mages can only burst for 25 seconds, and then after that, we are done. We are no good to you. But in that 25 seconds, we should do the most damage to you that any class can ever do. And it's not like that these days. And they need to figure all this out, but they need to watch those videos, and they need to watch them. They need to. And I was hoping that one of them would watch them and say, okay, we got to have a meeting. Let's watch the food chain and see how they
Very profound, Frieza.
And they because they
I would
weren't
have
getting
known
it.
this mofo's a little bit deep there with his analyzing and Freudian mother issues. I love that.
That to work.
It's valid, though. I love that. I do
know.
understand the correlation that you're making, and the concept is real.
I wish I was
do
better
agree.
at words. I wish I was better at.
I had no idea where you're going with it, but
That's what I mean.
I kind of have to agree with you.
Yeah.
I laughed at the start because I thought there's no way
The
that
end made total sense now. I think I actually want to write an article about that.
Yeah, I think every class needs to have their own thing. I mean, it sounds about all the praise in the world, and it was crazy and how all different they are, and how they all use their abilities to kill the victim and to kill they all use different strategies because that is what they were given, and that strategy will work, but they have to use it in the right way. It's not just because the lion isn't the best killer, whatever. It's just, everybody has their own way of killing things, and they all have their weaknesses.
That's a great. I like that.
Yeah. Just wish I was better with words.
We know stuff.
We know stuff.
I think
Well
that's
done,
awesome.
sir.
So that's what I did on my off time. I just wish I could spend more time
Watching speed kills.
watching speed
I think
kills.
a break sometimes is needed, especially as a hardcore PvPer. Sometimes in between seasons, you just need to give yourself a little breathing room to just sit back and reassess the situation. Lincoln, what did you do this week?
Not much. Didn't get to raid last night. I took a night off with my daughter. Didn't even get to do any RBGs. We'll be doing it later, hopefully. But really mount farming. Team's doing pretty decent in Highmall, so I'm farming now for the Death Charger, which is just an endless, absolute grind, which it's scary. I mean, I like the idea of going into like a weekly raid, and then, okay, I didn't get it this day, but to have to sit there and just keep coming out, reset, it's just grindy. It's the really last one of the mounts that I'm really looking forward to getting. But other than that, not much.
Nice.
Garrison stuff, a little bit of PvP stuff here and there. Having a blast in the Eye of a Storm, knocking people out of the middle and having them go flying out in the Nether.
Nice.
Best glyph in the world. That's it.
I'm over you. Bloke, what did you do this week?
I got BlizzCon tickets. Dun, 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 dun.
It's funny because I remember this very conversation a year ago, and we were all like, we're going. It's happening. I don't care how we got to get there and who we got to kill. We are going. We are not going to be left out because we had to stream it and watch it.
I didn't do Two-Fisted Bugger All. I did go raid with the Knights of the Dark Age again, and yet again, thanks for the patience, because I did die to a lot of dumb stuff again. Yeah, I know. I mean, if I survived a whole night without doing something stupid in a raid, well, shit, I'd probably go and buy a Cross Lotto ticket. The only thing I will talk about today is I was at work when the BlizzCon tickets went on sale. Now I just want to share this with you so you'll understand the lengths that we went to here to get these bad boys. They took away the internet at work for a variety of reasons, and so for me to get access to the internet, I had to tether the PC to my phone using a USB cord and run the mobile data.
And you're on Skype with us via mobile at this point, correct?
Yeah. So I was on Skype with you guys, and I had like 11 windows open, just trying to melt the internet. Because as we know, you reckon the internet is bad at my house. You wait till you see what we got at work. Like that's a whole different ballgame.
You could see the internet.
Oh yeah. You can see it coming past. There's little words going on. This is crap. Just floating past my head. The heat that was being generated by the little USB dongle thing melted the mouse mat that it was sitting on. That's how bad.
There might have been a fire. We don't really know.
Yeah, like it was such a epic sort of moment to hear those words. Like, we got tickets, because the effort that went into getting them was like that has literally been the focus of the entire year of my life. But the last 7 days in particular was like. Last Monday, BlizzCon tickets coming out next week. All right, so I got my snacks, I got my drinks, I my dental floss and spaghetti cans all set and tight and ready to go. Like, that was it.
Ready. It was definitely a massive team effort. We really.
I will upload a screenshot that I took of just how many of the windows of Eventbrite that I had open.
I had 3 different browsers because I wasn't sure if Eventbrite picked up your same browser, and every waiting room you were in that browser, it kept the same queue. So I had 3 different browsers going to try to trick whatever was going on.
Because I was trying to explain to someone, I'm like, I had that many windows open, it literally melted my internet connection. Like, literally. But it was redonkulous, and I'm just so excited to be able to say, like, I'm going to go. This is a massive thing for me. Like, I've been trying for 8 years to go, so, like, I feel like crying right now.
So my week, and then we're going to get on out of here, my week was spent doing the random stuff I do in Guild. I do have to make sure. Last week I talked about a bromance. This week I'm supposed to specifically talk about a homance between me and Brutum. She wants it known that there's a homance between her and I, and she needs that put on the record because she's like maybe my WoW wife, I guess she would call it. I don't really know. But she wanted to make sure that I mentioned the homance. She was very upset that she did not get a mention last week, and I wanted to make sure that I address that before she cuts me in my sleep because she's kind of scary if you ever make her mad. So
we never actually seen her.
No. Well, I mean, I have, but she's scary still. When she has a mean face, you know she's going to kill you and possibly kill your family. So you definitely don't want to.
She knows how to party.
No, she really. I mean, that is a party sometimes. I'm not even going to go there. I was just going to say something, but I'm going to...
Homance. I never heard of that.
So a homance is what she called it, a homance. I don't really know what that means either, but it's kind of exciting. I kind of want to know what's going on there. I did also...
Hashtag homance.
I did also want to make... I want to make another shout out because by the time this goes out, it's going to be officially announced. Today, the majority of my main people at Pwnecast were off doing their own things. So I did talk with Weenie, and Weenie is actually going to come on and be part of Pwnecast as far as admins because we did lose Admin Dark. He's the husband, and this poor guy, with all the things I have going on, he tried really hard to keep up, but at the end of the day, if you're not doing what you need to do for the Pwnecast people, you're not a part of Pwnecast. But he really, at the end of the day, we have Kid Aggro, he has work. It was just really difficult for him to be an admin. So we did bring on Weenie, and the reason we did is she does do stuff with us. She is in the guild, and she has a lot of the same ideals that Pwnecast does, and I really think that that's going to be a really good fit for you guys. So we're pretty excited about, bringing more things. She's going to BlizzCon with us, repping for Pwnecast. So we're pretty excited about that. But my week was just spent doing random guild stuff. outside of, I was prepared. I had these guys in line for BlizzCon literally a week before or a day before they went on sale. I'm like, okay, I'm calling you guys 30 minutes before they go on sale. We're going to get on Skype. We're going to open up every stuffs and we are going to just tackle it. And there was like an 8-person Skype call. We really attacked it in a good manner and we were all victorious, which some of you were not so lucky and we're sorry about that. But I'm not sorry that I'm going. Yeah. So with that being said, what a great episode it was. And that's pretty much the end of the episode. I'm glad that everybody was able to come and celebrate the 1 year's episode. We hope that 10 years from now.
Do we get to sing happy birthday to ourselves? Or?
Well, I think that might be a little inappropriate. I don't really have a singing voice per se. I don't really have one, but I think it's a great feat that we've had, and I'm excited for BlizzCon to introduce Pwnecast to BlizzCon. I think it's something that the founding members had always wanted was to go to BlizzCon, so I think this is a good thing, and we're moving in the right direction. So thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys for spending your hour with us every week, and thank you for continuing to support us. Make sure you guys check out the PwnecastDailyQuest.com. Because we are still putting up great content up there. We just put up some pet battle videos thanks to Insane Pain Game. We really have some good stuff that's being produced and put out there. And Facebook.com/Pwnecast. If you want to get a hold of Frieza, you can get him on his battle tag. He is taking a small break, so he might not answer you. But his battle tag is Frosty
1321.
1321. Maybe you want to convince him to not take a little bit of a break and maybe come kill stuff with you. I don't know, but that's Frosty 1321. Make sure you put in the note that when you send him an invite who you are and what it is you want, because he doesn't.
If you're a Hilly, you'll get me off my butt.
I know, right? So just make sure he knows. If you want to get a hold of Lycan, you can get a hold of him at lycan@pwnecast.net. If you want to get a hold of Huge Bloke, he is also hugebloke at pwnecast.net, but you can also find him on Facebook.com/Pwnecast. In the inbox if need be. I don't need to tell you guys where to get a hold of me. I have no life, so I'm all over Azeroth at any given moment. Also, make sure you check out our giveaway. We're actually giving away 3 months of Loot Crate. It is on our website. That's going till the 20th, so you have 2 more days to enter in for the 3-month subscription of Loot Crate. Just so that everybody knows, I already got my Loot Crate for this month. I have not opened it because I was threatened by Brutum that I cannot open it unless she is on Skype with me to open it. So,
what?
Did you open it yet?
I didn't open mine. I didn't know. Don't you dare tell me what's in it.
So we're all going to wait and we're going to open it together. But I did get my Loot Crate. It was shoved in my mailbox.
Ready?
No, don't open it. Brutum's going to kill you. Oh, it's empty. Okay, yeah, Brutum will kill you. But you will get 3-month subscription for this guy right here. 3-month subscription to Loot Crate. Anybody is eligible to enter where Loot Crate ships. So if you get on website and it says Loot Crate ships to frickin' Ukraine, you can get Loot Crate. It is eligible for you as long as Loot Crate does ship to you. So
Ukraine. It's right next to.
Is that even a place? Did I just make some shit up? I don't even know.
Yeah, you did.
But thank you guys. We're gonna go ahead and get on out of here.
You guys are talking about Weenie. I kept thinking of Weenie and the Butt. You ever seen that?
No.
Wow. What a way to
Hold on,
end
it's
the
funny
show.
that you said that because did you not say that earlier, Bloke, when I asked her where her name came? I'm like, who chooses their name to be Weenie of all things?
So it's a Family Guy.
Yes, but it's because she's tiny, so she's teeny weenie.
Like Weenie here, you could win $97.1 for the cool weekend ahead. Weenie and the Butt. Weenie and the Butt. Weekends in the morning, 97.1 FM. Weekends in the morning with Weenie and the Butt. Jumping to HD, 97.1. 97.1. Weenie and the Butt. In the morning,
Hold on.
weekends.
Weenie, if you're watching this, I love you so much. So much it hurts that I'm crying. That's how much I love you. I love you so much.
Don't get any better.
That was the greatest way to end the show. Weenie, I know you're watching this because you love watching our show. Seriously, I'm crying. These are tears of joy because I love you so much, and that was hysterical, Fries. I can't even deal with that.
That's what I went and got up for. I heard Weenie, and I was like, Weenie and the Butt? I gotta get my phone.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is why you watch us, because you would not get this anywhere else.
We need far more help than what we're
You can't
getting.
buy this kind of crazy. This is natural, preformed crazy. So we're going to get on out of here. Thanks for joining us on our 1-year episode, and we hope to see you next year and many, many years to come with the Pwnecast. Bye!
Bye!
Where's the creepiness,
Bye,
Flo?
everybody.
I'm waiting for the creepiness.
There it is.
Oh, hey guys.
You lied to me. You said there was going to be a Spider-Man thing and not a thing.
Wait. You're not meant to be able to see my hand.